بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه من والاه أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome to tonight's webinar. This is Muhammad al-Shareef. Inshallah ta'ala, we'll start off. I wanted to mention a story, actually a hadith, in which the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was once with Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And he said to him a very famous hadith, and it was his advice to Abdullah ibn Umar, who was a young man at that time. He said to him, grabbing his shoulders, "Kun fi dunya ka'annaka gharib aw 'abid sabil." He said, be in this life as if you are a stranger or a traveler. Kun fi dunya ka'annaka gharib aw 'abid sabil. So what does that mean to be a stranger or a traveler? Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu used to explain this to his students. What does it mean to be a stranger, a traveler? He said, إِذَا أَصْبَحْتَ فَلَا تَنْتَظِرِ الْمَسَاءَ وَإِذَا أَمْسَيْتَ فَلَا تَنْتَظِرِ الصَّبَاحَ. He said, if you find yourself in the morning, then don't look forward or don't expect the night to come. And if you find yourself in the night, don't expect the morning to come. Don't wait for it. Meaning to take advantage of this moment that you have. And Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu would continue and he'd say, to take advantage of your health before you fall sick, and take advantage of your life before you die, i.e. seize the moment. I want to say Jazakumullah khairan for all of you for attending this. The reason that I chose this topic of time, is because it's so painful to hear whenever there's some good happening or some nice event taking place or whatever it is. You'll see that the number one excuse, what I call the granddaddy of all excuses, is that people automatically say, I just don't have enough time. I just don't have enough time. But that statement is so painful to hear, because when somebody says that, it basically means, this is the analogy that I give for somebody who makes an excuse like that of, I just don't have time. The analogy to me is somebody who's standing at a train station, who's waiting for a train to come, and this train is going to take them to some exotic, beautiful destination. They're going to see things that their eyes have never seen before. They're going to hear things that their ears have never. They're going to experience life. But when someone says, I just don't have time, to me, that person, the doors of this train have opened, and the person is being beckoned to come and take this journey of life, and the person instead holds back. And that person procrastinates and delays and says, I just don't have time. And so life isn't going to wait for us. The train doors close and it moves forward. And every day this train is moving forward and the person is still left there at the train station with the same life, with the same habits, with the same routines, and nothing's changed in their life because they haven't seized that moment. They haven't gone on. And so the first excuse has to be, in order to live your life, in order to move forward, in order to be a leader, like the Prophet ﷺ said, كُلُّكُمْ رَاعٍ, every one of you is a shepherd. In order to be a shepherd, in order to be a leader, you've got to master your time. Right? You can't be leading amazing da'wah projects. You can't be leaving a legacy if you're running after, the small stuff and you can't handle it. Inshallah ta'ala, we'll take care of it tonight, bi'idhnillah. A wise man once said that strange is he who has the material world walking away from him and the hereafter walking towards him. How can he busy himself with what is leaving him and turn his back to that which is coming towards him? In other words, we busy ourselves with, you can imagine the person who's sitting at a computer, tappity-tap, checking this and checking that, stuff that makes no difference whether they check it or not or whether they see it, yet they've busied themselves with this dunya even though death is knocking at their door. In other words, death is just, a day or two away from this person. They've busied themselves with the past, yet they've turned their back on what the future is holding. And this is a moment to seize those good deeds, that reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be pleased with us. I'm often asked, Muhammad, how are you able to manage so many projects at the same time? How do you find time is the big question that I get asked. And in my life, I have, in addition to my ibadah, family, the health, the travels that I do, Al-Maghrib Institute, Discovery U, and all of those things, actually, when somebody says, Muhammad, you're so busy, I'm actually not busy at all. I'm not. I'm actually quite bored. Sometimes I get even sad because I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to do today? Because even though all of those things are on my plate, I found a way to take care of it. I found a way to deal with it. So what I call pancake. I take all that stuff and I pancake it so it takes very little time. Now you're wondering, how can you take so many things and pancake it so it takes very little time? Inshallah ta'ala, I'm going to give you some glimpses of some of those techniques that I personally use in my own life, inshallah ta'ala. I found it to be beneficial and I would wish to share it with you, inshallah ta'ala. This also, with this webinar, coincides with the launching of a seminar that I did. It was originally called Live Your Dreams, but it is the Time Traveler seminar series. We recorded it in video and it's available for you, inshallah ta'ala. And we've released that for those who wish to own it. One of the main things that you're going to learn from the Time Traveler series, for those who wish to take it to the next level, is that you'll learn step by step, not only how to manage your time, but firstly it's a three-step process. Firstly, you've got to dump what's already in your mind, because you can't manage junk, right? You've got to clear out your mind, flush it out. That's number one. Secondly, you've got to, in addition to deleting all this distractions and so on, you've got to manage what you already have. Because I've seen so many people, once they start thinking about big goals and big dreams, their current time problems come rushing back to them. They feel, depressed, and they're like, well, how can I achieve these big goals and big dreams when I can't even, for example, get to work on time, or I can't even do this or that. They get crushed by those time things. So the first thing is you got to clean it out. Secondly, you've got to find a way to manage your own life now. And then thirdly, you've got to paint a vision for what you want life to be, right? You've got to paint that vision so that you can be in charge of what's taking place day by day, inshallah ta'ala. All right? So we're here right in the beginning of this lecture tonight, and I wanted to give you 10 quick tips, right? 10 quick tips. I don't know if you're going to be with me towards the end of this or not, but I wanted you to get maximum benefit right from the very beginning, inshallah ta'ala. All right? Are you ready? Number one tip. You want to aim higher every single day. Aim higher than what you're currently doing. So in other words, if you, it's like lifting a weight. If you keep lifting the same weight, you will never get stronger. You're never going to achieve anything. You have to systematically increase the weight in order to build muscle. So every day that you go into it, when you wake up in the morning, even ask yourself this morning, did you make an intention this morning to achieve something great? And my guess is, no, you did not, right? Because that's just the way. We wake up and we kind of like let life just pass us by. It's habit. What I'm telling you is that every day you pray Fajr, you make your intention that, you know what, if yesterday I aimed for this, then today I'm going to aim for, just a little bit more. But each day you keep aiming higher, higher, and pushing yourself further and further. So you've got to aim higher. That's number one. Number two is you've got to get things off of your mind immediately. When something comes to your mind, it might be like a check that you have to pay. It might be something that you need to pick up, or something, email that you need to send. As soon as something hits your mind, you need to get it off of your mind immediately. One of the things that I do is I keep a notepad, my journal right beside me, right beside my computer when I'm working, so that as soon as a thought comes to my mind, I already got the thought. I don't need to think of it 25 times. I already understand. So I write it down. And as soon as my mind starts thinking, well, what if I forget? I'm like, no, it's right there on the right side. And whenever I need to organize it later, it's right there. So you want to get things, small stuff, off of your mind so that you can use your mind, which is prime real estate for the bigger things. When I say prime real estate, I was once walking by Niagara Falls. And at Niagara Falls, I wondered, the piece of land that's right beside Niagara Falls, what would you build on it?